going on? What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy Nate Campbell here. Experience the Galaxy with Nate Campbell. I am Nate Campbell, and let's get right to it. It's a lot of stuff going on. It's a lot of stuff going on this month, and right now I'm in a place that I'm not shocked nor am I appalled. I'm just some guy that understands that I am at a place where I can truly say I expected what's going on. A lot of people don't. I do. But over the last few weeks, I've been dealing with Trump saying that Obama wiretapped him, which I don't discount. I don't discount that he was wiretapping him. I don't discount that they listened to his phone calls. But because Eric Snowden, who was banished from the United States of America to Russia, already told you that they listen to everything you say. So that means if you're watching some porn and doing something online you ain't got no business doing, somebody probably watching. And what was it? Samsung TVs been monitoring your conversations even though they're not turned on. My question is, what makes Donald Trump actually believe that I give two diddle puffs and a fart about him saying that somebody was wiretapping him or listening to his calls? They listen to my calls, and I say some pretty rough stuff. I mean, imagine what they were doing, what kind of file they have on me. So, for me, when he goes after Miss Rice, and says that she was
Susan Rice,
said that Susan Rice had done something criminal. No, she's acting in the office that she was sworn to do. You know, that's her job. Her job is to get in your business. And if you want to be an American citizen, that's the police state we live in now. Let's call it what it is. We live in a police state. I know Americans don't want to hear that. This is little Germany on a big scale. And whenever I say this to my people, they get angry with me, be like, if you don't like the country, why don't you leave? Give me a check. What you asking for? You ain't said nothing to me. One thing I keep telling folk, have money, we'll travel. If it wasn't for the fact that I don't have an endless supply of coins, I keep telling folk, have money, we'll travel. If it wasn't for the fact that I don't have an endless supply of coins, I'll move to Thailand in a heartbeat. I just want to let y'all know that. I can live in Thailand for a nominal fee for a long time. I'm telling you. I went to Thailand. It cost me, what, $1,200, $1,100 to get there. And for another $1,100, I live like I own a joint. I'm out there shopping. You know what I'm saying? Got Thai massages. They want the lady boys to touch me. You know, they get a lot of lady boys over there. So my thing is, we got to come to the realization that we got to stop acting like we act like we don't believe our government is full of shit. I'm just saying, we really don't believe that. But that's what it is. You know. I hear echo. I don't get it. I don't get why we act like our government is so above boards. Somebody asked me, why would you say something like that? I said, well, you do know that the American government is the one that gave us syphilis back in Tuskegee experiment. That is also how they found AIDS. They were able to develop AIDS through Tuskegee experiment. A lot of people don't know that. You do know, yes, we own the patent to AIDS. And how did you get the patent? You had to develop it. What was the best place to develop it? Okay, I'm going to leave that where it is. All right. We also own the patent for Ebola, the Ebola virus. We own the patent to it also. We do. And a lot of people don't want to talk about that. Let's have this discussion. Why do we act like phone tapping is so far-fetched, far gone? I mean, they knew what Hillary Clinton was doing because they probably had a bug on her phone while she was doing it. They knew about her server. They been knew about it. See, my issue is this. Donald Trump actually wants to bring light to that they were being bugged and he was being you know, they were eavesdropping on his phone calls. Come on, man. Stop wasting my time. Hit me with something else. Please stop acting like that was something big and crazy, outlandish. And if I hear one more black person act like the American government give two damns about them, I'm liable to keel over and die in my seat. Look, it wasn't for the fact that they would have to give us reparations, they'd send our black ass back to the country of their choice. But if they did that, they would then be deemed by that country to have to pay us money for back labor that we getting paid for. We didn't get paid for. That's why they don't send us back anywhere. They got the paperwork. They know where we came from. They're great record keepers. You think for one moment they don't know where we came from? They know. They don't Our problem is we don't act like we know. And my problem is it's not about me being a conspiracy theorist or a racist. Because if I had one more black person say that I'm racist, I want to meet them somewhere, and I get him we can put on any gloves you want, and I won't put headgear on, I'll let you put it on, and I will beat you within 2 inches of your life, wake you up, and beat you within an inch of it the second time, because you got to be dumb to think that a black man can be racist in America or anywhere in the world. We don't have power. Racism is a socialistic, financial, economic construct that tells you that you cannot or can be a part of this society. We can't do that. If I hear somebody else make this statement, you all burned up your own neighborhoods. We don't own no damn neighborhoods. What neighborhood do black people own? Everyone we ever owned, you burned it down. So you mad with us for burning down the ones you own now? Does that make sense? I have to ask that question. Because I'm at a place now that we're missing the big picture. We've been caught up on this eavesdropping case, but Donald Trump, he doubled down on this stuff this time. He bombed Syria. And he didn't just throw 1 or 2 bombs over there. He threw $93 million worth of bombs over there. 50 cruise missiles. That's a lot of bombs. All for one base? So you trying to tell me it took that many missiles to blow up that one base?
Didn't blow it up. They were up and running the next day.
The next day. So I'm going to say this like this here. Y'all motherfuckers crooked. And I said y'all crooked. Y'all got all that big time money and the base back up and running again. So that tells me either you can't see or what you threw some firecrackers over there with a big muffler on it. Because if it was up and running the next day, from what I heard also.
No, they showed it.
Yeah, if it was up and running, then you can't go back in there because Russia over there now. And if you bomb in Russia there, it's going to be a problem. Do you realize that we are in... I'm going to bring my man on, Cathy, and her husband Fred. Me and Fred went to high school together, and I didn't even know that till he walked in the room. And we played basketball together, as a matter of fact. Fred was a smart guy. I just want to give y'all some backstory. Fred was a smart guy. And my boy Joey Benoit lived over in Bay Meadows. I think it was Bay Meadows Apartments. And Fred lived next door in the smaller but more upscale. You know, he was one of those really smart brothers. Didn't play basketball but could. I never got that. And I never got that. And so I saw Fred walk in like, don't I know you? I'm like, that means that I must not have aged that far away from who I am, if you can remember me. But I'm gonna bring Cathy and Fred in about 2 or 3 minutes. But I just wanted to get this out. We have to be very leery of the master colonialistic plan that's going on. People don't get this. I've been watching a lot of video. They started to chip each other. I think it's overseas. They're chipping people now. Yeah, they're chipping. They already put a chip in. They say, you don't need to carry cards or cash. No, I'm good. I like my paper cash. I know how much I got on my account that way. You know what I'm saying? And they're putting it in your hand. And you can walk up to a door and open the door with no keys, no nothing. Crank your car up the whole 9. Just this little chip. I just want to say that I like my car keys. I like my credit card. I like my identification card. I mean, I like all those things. I'm not willing to give them up. And I'm not willing to have you track me like cattle. That's where we're headed. So all this bombing of Syria, all this, that's really what it's all about. That's all. And I'm going to give you one. The reason I keep saying it, we're talking this is World War III, and a lot of folk don't get this. They made a statement some years back that we need to cut the world's population by 90%. Who you think they talking about? They ain't talking about rich people. Rich people don't go to war. Poor people go to war. Poor folk go to war. War zones are not in good neighborhoods. At least not good American neighborhoods. War zones tend to be in impoverished neighborhoods in other third world nations or so. So, that being said, I want to introduce Fred and Cathy. I want you guys to introduce yourself and tell them what your names are.
All right.
What you do.
Frederick Wilson. Just a correction. We're not married. We're business partners and friends, but we're not married.
I thought we were married.
No, that's all right. As Nate said, walked in and saw Nate. Like, hey, I know you. Yeah, we played ball together. Went to high school together. Right now, we are co-hosts of a radio show, Let's Talk Politics with Frederick Wilson and Cathy Taylor. We focus on politics and social issues. Our goal is basically to turn out a better voter. We provide information, don't trying to convince you to be a liberal or Democrat or anything else, but give you the information, the tools you need so you can make your own decision and go and make an educated vote. So that's our premise, and Cathy can say the rest or anything else.
And we're different because we come at it from a historical background. We both have backgrounds in history, so everything we talk about, we're looking at why it's important now because of what happened in the past. And again, we challenge people to challenge us. If what we're saying is wrong, we want you to just bring your facts and prove to us that we're wrong, and if we're wrong, we'll apologize.
And immediately start saying it the right way.
Yes.
And so we expect people to do the same as well. So our thing is no egos. It's just a matter of if we're going to help America and help the world, when we all have to be on the same page. We all just to tell the truth, bring our truths to it, figure out what we're going to do, and work towards that to betterment of all mankind. Sound like superheroes, but it's really,
it is. I mean, but
really, that's what we want to do.
And so basically, our shows are basically the same. I don't care that you vote Democrat, Republican, Independent, whatever. I'm independent. I know that I understand that in order to have these conversations, there got to be those conversations that people don't want to have.
Right.
People don't want to talk about religion, and they don't want you talking about their politics.
We talk about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, those are two most important things. You think in some places your religion dictates your politics, and some other places your politics dictate your religion.
Basically.
And you can't have one without the other.
Exactly. So I'm pretty much the guy that would tell you that I was ordained minister at 22 at the Church of God in Christ. So when you come to me religiously, you better come with your A game, because I will make you mad. I will make you mad. And then if you want to talk to me politically and you're a Democrat, you do know that Democrats were the ones that made all the money off the sweat of our labor. They were the Southerns that held us in bondage and
yes,
even
indeed.
fought to keep that right.
Yes, indeed.
Let's talk about that.
Still do today.
Still do today. But they do it with social programs. And I'm telling y'all, people don't want to hear this part.
They don't want to.
They don't want to hear this part.
They're going to call you a buck dancer. Yeah. They're going to call you they can say you're timing.
Actually, I call them, I say they're timing. Because if you still vote Democrat and Republic only, you cooning. And I let you know to your face you cooning, and you can't win no fist fight. That's just why I stand with that.
Now, you just like to fight, huh?
I love to fight. Talking foolish. I'm talking to ask somebody, you can't call me a coon. You can't, because I actually don't stand for. Look, anybody who know me knows that I speak my mind, my truth. I grew up in the hood. I grew up on the east side of Jacksonville. I was a foster child. I lived uptown. I lived in the Blodgett homes. I lived in Durkeeville. I lived in the hood. I grew up in what they call PYC when it was good. You understand me?
Yeah.
My grandmother lived over there. My grandfather lived off the corner of Beaver Streets and Minnie Streets. I got slapped and ran home by a dude right next to where Shallow Church is now. My daddy took me back and made me fight him. I grew up in the hood in what was called Uptown, La Villa, where La Villa School is now. That's where my house is set, where we lived. So I, of course, going to have a different view than most folk that grew up in affluence. Or mama and dad. My mama was a drug addict. Daddy was alcoholic. You know what I'm saying? I grew up, for the most part, as hard as you could. So, it's not that I like to fight. I just understand that I can get a lot more accomplished when I punch you in the mouth. Hit you real hard. You get spitting out teeth like a submachine gun. Tend to change your mind. No, but the problem is nobody's passionate about these things anymore. They want you just let me love my Jesus the way I love my Jesus, and you love who do you serve? And I have to ask that question. I tend to question Christians who vote Democrat. I tend to question them. So you Christian and Democrat, you double dumb me, right?
It's like an oxymoron in a lot of cases.
Ain't it? Come on, man. Say if a man does not work, he shall not eat. That's what the Bible says. But if you're a Democrat and you're a female and you're black, and you call them and tell them that you don't have a job, you can get a check. But if you're a Democrat and male and call them and tell them you can't get a job and you got kids, they'll send you to prison. They'll send you to jail behind that. Take your license, catch your job. Come on now.
Yeah, it's a setup.
It's a setup. It's a setup for failure. And if you ain't biting on that, we got this new one for you. What's the safest place for a black man in America?
Jail?
Nope.
Where?
In high heels.
Ooh.
Wow. Wow.
Ooh.
Think about it though.
I bet you ain't gonna, I bet you better not say that to no gay guy. Girl.
Yeah. And with the new HRO2, they just passed it, and now they're talking about making it a statewide HRO. That's your leaders in Tallahassee.
So explain to us what that is, because I want people to know.
Well, that's the HRO is a human rights ordinance that was just passed in Jacksonville. It basically gives civil rights to
quote unquote civil rights.
Yeah, quote unquote, because they felt like to the LGBTQ community. Basically, they didn't feel like the civil rights ordinance that were already in place actually covered them. So this helps them in terms of employment and housing.
How does it do that in terms of employment?
Well, what is it? If they feel they're discriminated against, then they can sue. So basically what it's saying is if you're part of the LGBT community and you don't get a job, you go, I'm LGBTQ, you interview me and you don't hire me, and I feel like you didn't hire me just because of that status, now I can come back and put some pressure on you through the legal system and get some money out of your pocket.
So it put you in the LGBTQ community, it put you in line with someone, for instance, that was age discriminated against.
Yes.
Okay, so in that list of people that can sue, now it's
I can too.
LGBT, any one of those LGBTs.
All I got to do is feel it.
Wait a minute.
All I got to do is feel that you did.
Wait a minute. You say you can, or you just saying they can?
Yeah, get it right. They can. It was acting.
That was a joke.
Yeah, so that's what the ordinance does right now.
Yes.
And that seems to be the tendency now, because in North Carolina they passed the laws where it said local ordinances couldn't overrule the state ordinance.
Right.
So that's what Florida is doing now.
Yes.
Or Jacksonville.
Yes.
Is it Jacksonville?
Jacksonville, and now it's going towards the state.
But
Yes.
it's also a little bit more to the HRO too, because it also affects businesses. And what they did now, the LGBTQ community can go into the restroom. So if I'm a man and I feel like I'm a woman, I can just go into the female bathroom. I don't have to dress like a female.
Guess what?
I said feel like one. He gonna beat
off.
somebody up.
No, but let me tell you something. If you walk your happy ass in the bathroom with my granddaughter or my daughter, I'm going to jail.
But that's not gonna solve it though, Nate.
Yes, it is.
How?
It's gonna solve that case. I ain't trying to.
Yeah, that case. That case.
I can only service one case at a time.
No, but you know what I'm surprised in North Carolina with the bathroom rule? This is what I'm really surprised at, because the quickest way for this thing to get, well, right now you don't want it to go to the Supreme Court because you're going to lose now. But before that is because it's supposed to be of your birth, right?
Yes.
So a person who's transgender should, if they want to if they want this thing to end up in the Supreme Court where they decide it, they should take their birth certificate, show it to a cop that's a male or female, and then go into the wrong bathroom and get arrested. Because that's how Roe versus Wade got overturned. The person who had the abortion challenged it.
You got to do that now because the rules in Jacksonville is you can go in the bathroom you want to. So if I feel like a woman, dress like this. If I feel like a woman, I say I'm going to the bathroom.
I think what Nate's saying is if
he whoop and tell.
If he whips the guy's ass and says, "Hey man, I whipped the guy's ass because it's really against the law as far as I'm concerned," then the law gets challenged, right?
Maybe.
I mean, he's still going to be fighting the assault charges, but
yeah.
Let me tell you something. I don't give a damn. So that's the problem. The problem is revolution does not happen without revolt.
Okay.
And a good revolt does not happen without bloodshed.
Okay.
So I'm shedding somebody's blood.
All right.
Voting.
Get your knuckles ready because it happened.
Well, and there's also a little bit more to it because also it has to do with public accommodations.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah, but wait, there's more. So if you are a church and you have more than 15 employees, and you are considered public accommodations where you let weddings or different events held at your church, you cannot turn somebody down from the LGBTQ community that wants to use your facilities. So for instance, if you're a church and you are against gay marriage and they want to get married in your facility and you say no and you
meet those requirements,
they can sue you.
You are discriminating.
So you have to force.
Church and state is totally destroyed. But what I did not have a discussion with.
Wow, that's a big step. That's a big step from a guy who makes wedding cakes to a church.
Yes.
Now you're telling a church if they don't believe in that you're telling them they still have to marry you? I mean, that's a big
As
leap.
long as they have the public accommodation.
Yes. Now, just think about President Obama's helped do this. He did this at first when he helped with the Supreme Court and they struck down the definition of marriage. He did it before when he with the Obamacare, when the Catholics were saying we don't want to provide a birth control in part of our health care plan. And he was like, oh, well, too bad, because your employees are entitled to have a birth control under their health care. So Obama has been striking it down. He's just not the one.
No, I got it. It just seems to me that's a really big step into.
It is going incrementally.
You're telling a church that we don't care what you believe. Not only
that's what President Obama said.
No, I got it. I got it with the birth control, but this just seems like a really big step.
Exactly, because they feel comfortable. If you can get away with this,
You
like
go
a
a
child,
little further,
once you go a little further, right, you can get a little bit more.
Well, like Nate said, what's the safest black man in America? Man in heels.
Man in heels.
I'm not gonna wear no heels though. Nate, you got a pair?
I don't even have a tight shirt like that. All my shirts.
You think those shirts from the '70s, man?
All my shirts say Under Armour for working out.
That is, huh?
I'm gonna tell you right now. And my anger is this. I blame the church for this.
I give you that.
I give you that too.
I blame the black church. You took over between 420 and 450 billion dollars up, and you ain't got no black candidate that thinks like you. You ain't got no black schools. You ain't separated yourself from them. And the Bible tells you to be separate, come from among them. You ain't done it yet. Get what you pay for. I'm loving Donald Trump every day. I'm telling y'all right now. You know why I love him?
Because he's exposing things.
Thank you. He putting the truth is a light. I don't care what you say.
Yeah. It's a cleanser.
Isn't it? Let me tell you something. Ain't nothing like telling a woman or telling a man, you know, I don't like you because I don't like you. I don't do people with. I don't do women in either way, missing teeth in the front.
Hey.
If you got a cock die, you just ain't doing it for me. I mean, I don't know who to look at.
Wow.
You know, I mean, I keep trying to move and focus to that one roving ass eye you got. It's true. It's funny, but it's true. You need that in your life. You need that kind of that. Look, one of my kids fought last night. He won by knockout. That's
nice.
No, J-Rock boxed. Beautiful fight. He did some things I didn't like, but he did the things we worked on. But my team captain, he won by knockout. He was coming back to the corner, and after the first round, I hold my hands up, and I throw out a MF tangent. What you doing? What are you doing? And he looking at me like I stole his lunch money. I feel like you stole mine. I gave it to him raw. Man, get this. You treat a bomb like a bomb. Get a bomb out of here. And somebody like, why would you call that guy a bum? He can't beat me in no fist fight. I don't care what y'all. What? That's the problem. The problem is we don't speak our truth because we're afraid of being politically incorrect.
Amen. And
politically incorrect is killing us and putting BS on the headstone.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's why LGBTQ, we don't just want to focus on them, but we were just talking about them. That's why they can do what they do. And they passed a law saying they've been discriminated against. They proved, 11 cases they had 11 cases of discrimination that they brought out that they said happened in the last 4 years.
And they were all handled.
Plus, we already have anti-discrimination laws on the federal level, the state level, and the local level on top of that. And then they want to use big business, like with example of PayPal. They were saying, "Oh, PayPal is pulling out and won't come to this country or won't come to our state if we don't pass it."
PayPal.
But PayPal, they are in other countries that kill homosexuals.
Where they
throw them off the building and put them in jail.
And I think I may move to one of them countries. I think I like the way they handle their stuff.
Ooh, wow.
No, I'm just joking.
Okay, I like wow. That took.
But again, when they were talking about the big
I ain't
business,
gonna move to the country, but I think they have a right to. I think they have a right to. People have. Here's my problem. My problem with my country that I've born and raised in. We have no right to tell you what your moral stance should be on anything. Because no offense, you look out for gays, but black man is still put in prison for nothing. You look out for gays, but the black woman is the fastest group being in prison every day. They going to jail faster than black men. You didn't know that, did you?
Did not.
Oh yeah, educated black woman. It's going to jail at a rate higher than black men. There are more black people in prison now than were enslaved. Sad, but guess what? You can't find a job. 18% of black men are 18% unemployed in America. Black women are 10% unemployed in America. But yet the white woman who's bitching and moaning about equal rights and the feminist movement makes 73 or 75% of every dollar that the white man makes, when black men make less than her and black women makes less than him, but we can't get a job, so that don't even matter.
But see, here's the flip. Just when you talk about all the billions of dollars, if we kept the money in the black community, we could have our own business and hire our own people and reduce that rate. I'm not telling you being discriminatory, but at the same time, if you see the problem, and the problem is the people that look like you can't get a job from other people, then create your own.
Thank you.
Create your own. That's the only solution. You can't keep asking your enemy to be your friend.
Less than 2% of all dollars that are spent in America by black people stay in the black community. Yep. If we could raise it to 10%, we create a million jobs. If we could then raise that to 20%, we don't need them.
Well, you know that the dollar in the Asian community earned stays 30 days.
30 days.
Crazy.
A dollar in the white community stays 20 days.
15 days in the Jewish community, 17.
17 days. You know how long the dollar in the black community stays? It doesn't make it past happy hour on Friday.
Wow.
6 hours.
Wow, 6 hours.
By the end of happy hour, your dollar that you got paid on direct deposit is gone out of your community.
Yep.
That's a crazy stat.
It is, but it's just
and
that's our fault then, that we can control that.
I'm blow your mind.
Go ahead.
And I'm gonna say this. Where'd you grow up?
Jacksonville, Bay Meadows.
Bay Meadows.
Uh-huh.
Where'd you grow up?
Bay Meadows.
That's part of the problem.
Okay, go ahead.
Wanting to get away from our people so much, we run to the white communities where we're going to have to spend white.
Mm-hmm.
We run in those communities, Bay Meadows, Mandarin, and I did it. I'm guilty of it. Bay Meadows, Mandarin, the beaches. Those are places that are predominantly white.
Mm-hmm.
We run in those communities because we think they're better, rather than do our due diligence to make where we live what it once was or better. We have all the means to do it. We can run Habib out of the neighborhood by doing one thing: not buying at his store. We can run Kim Do Ling out of the community by not buying from their store. And that's the truth. They kicking our black women's asses in these stores, running them out of. And here's the problem. And I'm gonna say this: black women, I love you, Cathy.
Cathy,
I'm gonna say this, and I said it before. I teach self-defense. I teach boxing. The first thing I teach is defense, self-defense. I teach you how to defend yourself. But if a black woman tell me she's a strong, independent black woman, I'm looking for her to get punched in the nose by somebody and stand there and watch. Because I can't teach you how to defend yourself if you're talking to me. Ask the young man sitting next to you, how much talking do I tolerate when I'm in the gym?
None.
When I tell you something, I tell you this because for your benefit, your good, you need to hear this. You need to hear this because somebody on the other side of the ring is trying to knock your block off.
Yeah.
I know how not to get it knocked off.
Mm-hmm.
I done had mine chipped once or twice. I'm trying to make sure yours don't get knocked off. So the problem has to be understood and recognized that it's the way we carry ourselves with one another.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the way it is. If you want a leader, you want a leader. First of all, stop letting these beta males mate. Stop mating with beta males.
Yeah.
Just because he worked for IBM with got a white collar job, he's still a beta male. Stop letting beta males mate. Just because he make more money than the man who's an alpha male, I guarantee this here. I bet that alpha male gonna be the one to break out and fight for you. I'm an alpha male. I ain't trying to be nothing else. I tried to be a beta male. It didn't work for me. It does not work for me. No, none for me. Thank you. No. Come on outside. Come on outside. And it's not that. But that's the problem. We don't, and I don't mean that in a physical, literal sense.
Yeah.
I mean in a mental, financial. Come outside.
All that.
I mean it like that.
So you're gonna meet them at the needs. But the thing is, like you said, that the issue is not somebody else. And when you're talking about living in the different parts of town, you got two things that you're trying to balance. One, if you have a family, do you want to put your family in an environment where it's more likely they're going to be in a gang, more likely to be shot, more likely to be raped, more likely to be in a school that's not as good as any other schools, more likely to have those type of problems? Or do you want to move them out into where you're giving your child the best opportunity? And then the other side is, if you move them out, then how are you helping the other one? Which one you going to do?
You ready for this?
Go.
Okay. Let me clear my throat. If we took the time to do our due diligence in our own neighborhoods,
right,
we wouldn't have these problems. Rape happens at a higher clip in the white neighborhood than it does in the black neighborhood. They just reported less.
Ah, okay.
94% of all black murders are committed by black people.
Right.
90% of all whites are committed by whites. Murders are crime of proximity. Gangs are crime of proximity because you got white boy gangs they don't talk about. You got white boy gangs they don't talk about. Perfect example. The longest running gang in America. What is it called?
Bikers.
KKK.
KKK. Okay.
And that's a white gang. They say that's now they named it a religious group. What Jesus you serve? And here's my question. We got to stop believing the BS that's put at us by the media. Makes us believe that where we live is bad because we live there. Where we live is bad because they use it as a training ground for how to destroy us.
But how do we? Well, again, you're saying they
we need you,
us. Okay, I give that.
We need Fred. We need Nate. We need Cathy.
Okay.
We need all those ones that understand what the problem is to be the change they want to see.
But that's why we have shows like this too, to bring some more attention and then get into the action. But see, this is the thing too. How is it? And what Cathy and I said, we talk about the historic aspect of. We look at the mentality that developed. You look at with the Democratic Party, and you're a black woman and don't have a job and all. You get a check. You're a black man. You're going to jail. But if you get a black woman, you get a check. You bring a man in that family, then your check stops, and then you back out. So you're more likely to put the man out.
But if that was a white woman with a farmer husband,
you
get the same check or the same.
Good to go. So the question is, how do we change that mentality of people as to not accept what other folk are saying? It just makes logical sense to say, clean up your neighborhood. It makes logical sense to say, take care of your kids and give them a proper environment in which they can learn, go to school and learn. It makes sense, common sense to say, hey, don't use drugs, don't get high, don't destroy your life. It makes common sense to say, don't be an alcoholic and don't tear your life up and be a good role model for your parents. That is common sense. It doesn't have to be told. But for some reason, it doesn't manifest enough in our communities to where we are suffering. We're at the bottom economically. We're at the bottom educationally. You can't find a black school in Duval County that's not a magnet school that's doing more than a D on the scores.
But wait a minute. You're running over too many speed bumps.
I'll go here.
It's that way by design. Now you keep talking about what we should do and what we could do and what we ain't doing. But here's the thing: you have a generation that I want to say generation behind us. Maybe before us. I actually want to blame two before us.
Okay.
They were so busy trying to get to the all-American white man's dream,
right,
that they gave up that awesome reality that they had.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Do you realize something? Before Martin Luther King did his thing, we had a 45% ownership of our businesses in our own communities.
And black men with their families.
70% of our families were two-parent.
Yep.
See, what happened was when Martin Luther King allowed separate, but what he wanted? He wanted equal. We didn't need equal. What we really needed was protection. And what we needed to do was stand together and say, the hell with that, and have some of the men that dress up in suits be willing to get a bullet hole through them instead of being punks. That's what they were. And I'll say that we needed the Black Panthers everywhere. We needed the Nation of Islam type movement everywhere. The truth of the matter was, the only reason that Dr. Martin Luther King got paid attention to because they could control him. They couldn't control Malcolm.
But in the end, they couldn't. That's why they killed him.
That's why. But wait a minute. They couldn't control Martin till he started to think like Malcolm.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's call it what it was now. A lot of us don't want to talk about that portion of
it's time. It's time to drop a plug.
Yes,
for our
it is.
Cathy and I wrote a play. It's called The Great Debate That Came Too Late.
Oh, wow.
And
it's a debate.
Fictitious debate between Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. And in it, we show how Martin Luther King was on one side, way on the other side, Malcolm X, but they started to come together. Malcolm X started to realize he can't be calling everybody racist and can't be trying to attack everybody. He's trying to get something done. Plus, when he went to Mecca, he realized that just because you're white don't mean you're evil. And he realized that just because you're black don't mean you're good, right? Because he found that out.
At the end.
And then King realized that it ain't about integration. Just because you're white don't mean we need to go over there. Because he realized all these folks were smiling in his face. They ain't really have his best interest at heart. So when they started coming together, they got killed. So I believe if they would have had a chance to come together, we would have a whole different world.
Can I tell you something?
Yes.
They did come together.
Talk to me.
Y'all didn't know that?
No, talk to me.
All records have shown that they had decided they were going to who Malcolm didn't have, Martin did have.
Okay.
Martin put over well over a million people down there when he had I Have a Dream speech.
Right.
Malcolm had as many, if not more, people that went the other way. And what he had started to do was try to segue them all into one people.
Right.
As leaders should do. They had come together to make a conglomerate. They would get what they were going to go after.
The white establishment. What?
Reparations. Reparations. Whenever you say that word, you end up dead. Carson. Johnny Carson. Yeah.
Ben Carson.
Not Ben Carson.
Not that guy.
Not that dude.
Not Johnny Carson.
Johnny. OJ's lawyer.
Oh, Cochran.
Johnny Cochran.
Johnny Cochran had written a brief to go after the United States government for reparations. How does he get a brain tumor and die? Out of nowhere. Man wasn't sick at all. Then F. Lee Bailey, who helped him write the brief, got disbarred. Then you had the other one, Kardashian.
He died. What, heart attack?
He died.
Yeah. All of them dead or disbarred. They deboned the whole thing. See, America will not allow us to come after them for $6.5 trillion to $25 trillion they owe us. Because why? We become the power structure in America then. And you don't want a black man to have money with ideas. Because all of us have ideas with no money. But you have money with ideas, you rule the world. We built pyramids with money and ideas. You understand me?
And sailed across the world.
We populated the earth. Everything that is because we were. And we had money. We had money. We had and we had ideas. And to have an idea with financial backing can make you that's how you got the cell phone. A black man had idea and somebody put money with it and he sold it to him. That's how you got the propulsion engine for the rocket. A black woman, well, the goddesses was a black woman. The rockets, you don't want to. Nobody want to talk about those things. They only want to talk about the fact that Tukey started the Crips.
And they killed him.
And they killed him because he was gonna break. He was the only man that could break it up. He could really break the Crip back. But the reason why they don't ever want us to see, our problem is our legacy. If they're bad, they kill you. If they're good, they kill you. But I don't care what y'all say. Bill Cosby ain't raped no white women. I just can't go for that.
Ain't happening.
Nah. If you're a black man, and
in the 60s.
Look, if you're a black man in the new millennium, and them had $2 or $3 before. You don't bother them white women.
They come to you.
White women are special. No, they ain't looking for them black girls out of DC. But if a white girl go missing, they will. Boy, look at them. They don't play about them white women's, boy. As my mom, them white women's is serious. White women's is serious. That she is a commodity. Remember the little white girl was out there swimming across the ocean and her mast broke and she put the beacon off and they spent $500,000 to go get her. You got 14 of them missing right there in DC. They ain't spent $40 to look for them. What about them 8 football players that went missing out there in Miami?
In the ocean.
And they sent somebody to the edge of the beach and looked for them. I don't see them.
That's it.
I'm just saying.
They did.
Yeah. We don't go cash in them team life insurance policies.
That is.
But our problem is we don't speak the truth about these things.
But flip it too, because what we keep saying is what they doing to us. Can't nobody do nothing no more. We don't let them in 2017. We got knowledge.
Right, but we got knowledge.
Well, the knowledge is available. How about that?
But guess what? Guess what? A dumb white kid can become president. A dumb black kid is guaranteed prison or death.
Yeah, it's like that. But we can't. How we allow it? Cathy and I have done. We had different people come on our show, attorneys and folk that actually just talk about the disparity of what happens when you get into trouble and you get yourself in trouble and going in front of the judge in courts, and how black men are more likely to get a longer crime for the longer time for the same crime.
Sense and disparities.
Yeah. So, but again, with this understanding, 2 things. We got to stop our kids from breaking the law, first of all, because you got to say, hey, you know you're going to get it. You know it's not fair. So why even put yourself in that position?
Right.
And then you're going to be complaining when you get it bad, because now you got it worse. The white guy may have got a little slap on the hand, and he'll get out. He don't have no criminal book. Exactly. Right. He can do a little time or do a little boot camp, a little something, and he can still apply for jobs because it's not on his record. But the black man did the same thing. He's in jail for a long time. Now he's got a felony, and every time he tries to get a job, he's got to check that box or answer that question, and people are less likely to do it. He can't live in certain neighborhoods, certain jobs he can't even apply for. But he was just as guilty or just as bad or just as good as the white guy.
Or at least guilty.
Yeah. But I'm saying they're the exact same thing, but one guy can't do something, the next man can, even though they did the same thing. So we understand that. So what do we need to do in order to put ourselves in a position where we're not even going to be faced with that problem? Let's go get another problem to deal with as opposed to a criminal charge that we're trying to get through.
I'm about to raise my hand on that.
Yes, sir.
Mama and dad or just mama?
Both.
Mom and dad or just mama?
Mama.
Male figure in life?
No.
Give you one. Good mother can raise a woman. She can be a great woman without a father. You don't have a father, you're a statistic automatically. I don't care who you are. You without a father of no use because you're going to miss something. A woman can teach a woman to be a woman. She can teach a woman to be a woman. A woman can't teach a man to be a man. And that's what a lot of women are having to do. My father raised me. But I still missed out on so much of that softness that I would have gotten. I was hard. I had to be. Because, first of all, my daddy said, boy, look here. I'm going to tell you now, in case you're out there playing, you fall and hurt yourself, and you be crying, I'm going to punch you in the mouth if you come here with that bull in your mouth. My daddy was real geeky. My daddy was very, very stern. He was exactly what he said he was, a man. Perfect example. Daddy, Baby Alive. When Baby Alive, I tell the story before. When Baby Alive, my dad said, if I catch playing with the dog, I'm going to bust your fucking head wide open. And I said, I don't want to play with the dog. Keep looking at it. I'm telling you, if I catch the dog, I'm going to bust your head wide open. Nah, I don't want to play with the baby doll. But I want to see why this baby doll eyes kept closing when they laid this baby doll down. I was going to pop the baby doll head off and look in there and find out. My little cousin Precious, her name was Irene, we call her Precious. She laying that baby doll down and picking it up. And I'm like, we want to see what, I'm going to pop this baby doll head off. My daddy walked across the street. I see him over there walking.
Uh-oh.
This baby doll. So I could go in there and get the baby doll, pick the baby doll, lay it up, lay it down, pick it up. As I get ready to reach down and to grab that baby doll, hit my daddy. I don't remember him hitting me. I just heard the pow. My ear said, oh.
Wow. Like the TV went off, like it's going off at 2 in the morning. The TV
hey. I woke up and I said, I wasn't playing with the baby doll.
You already knew.
He said, I told you not. I told you not to touch that motherfucking baby doll. And that's just the way he talked to me.
Uh-huh.
My cousin had
you didn't even go down to Baby Doll Aisle in Walmart, do you?
Let me tell you something. My cousin had an action figure.
You skipped that aisle.
My cousin had an action figure. He had the brand new $6 million man with the eye. You can see through the back.
Yeah.
He said, you want? No, I won't play with it.
Nah, bro.
Baby doll to me, bro.
It ain't worth it.
I ain't want to play with it.
Daddy might think that's a doll. That's an action figure, but it might be look like a doll.
Them little green army men, I ain't want to play with them neither.
Dang, not even G.I. Joe?
I had a G.I. Joe with a Kung Fu grip.
Okay, I had a Kung Fu grip.
I had a Kung Fu
That's a manly grip.
Guess what?
That's a manly grip.
Guess what? I ain't want to play with
They
him
don't play it just in case.
Just in case he had one of them off days. I ain't want to tell pop.
Wow.
Like, oh, that is so wrong. Call it what you want. That's the way he knew to raise a man.
Wow.
And the problem is men aren't allowed to raise men. And the system has been put against us. So you say, how do we change that? First of all, put the daddies back in their life. But again, stop mating with beta males. You mating with beta males, and then you got beta male issues when you deal with beta males. And I made a statement with a friend of mine. We're gonna do a show on this. Who is the hunter in the family? Who is the hunter in the family of a lion pride?
The female.
The female. Black women have been taught not to do that, but you are the one that has to be the hunter now.
Right.
And it's almost afraid. In this age, black men have almost been put in a position to have to learn to be homemakers in a sense and protect. But you're expected to be willing to die for that family. That's the one thing that a male lion will do. He will die for his family. We got to get back to that place of understanding that we got to live like a pride of lion. We got to, and it's almost to the point where the number.
Except then, but Daddy can't sleep with all the women in the household.
No, he can't.
All the women because he made them all.
Really?
Well, we're not. We talking about individual families.
Okay.
But let me tell you something. I'm gonna tell you why they outlaw that, and they biblically tell you that bullshit. That's what it is. Because if you and you are together, and then you marry another sister or whatever, y'all got this. You got 2 wives or 3 wives or whatever. You just built wealth. What you just did was built wealth. It has nothing to do with spiritual. Oh, it's just about God. Bullshit. It's about building wealth. Because you got 4 incomes in that house.
Okay.
Or say you got one that's very smart. You got a school teacher in that home that teaches what you believe in this home to these children. You don't send your kids out to be defiled by the system or miseducated. That's what they want to keep away. Because they'll let you marry John, but they won't let you marry Kathy, Barbara, and Donna. You can't marry them, but you can marry John, which is the dumbest crap. First of all, ain't nothing made on him for you, and vice versa. And but they'll allow that because it all goes back to keeping our numbers down. Henry Kissinger said this in 1972, 1973, around the same time they took homosexuality out of the DSM. He said the best way to keep the numbers down in the black community is homosexuality. Do your research. No, it has nothing to do with you not wanting to. You can't sleep with all the women in the house. Well, no offense, we know you ain't going nowhere else. You got to come home and deal with all them different entities.
Shh, man, he want to come home with all that attitude. Like, oh, come on, I can't do another one.
Hey.
Did I say that out loud?
Yeah, you said that.
My bad.
I don't feel that way, sisters. I don't feel that way. Fred feels that way.
Good job, Nate. Good job.
Fred by himself on that one.
Yeah, you are. I can deal with y'all, baby.
All 4 of y'all, right?
All 4 of y'all. I cook too. I barbecue and everything.
This is the dating game, right?
I'll take Donna for $200.
There you go, right?
But no, I'm saying, as corny or crazy as it sounds, think about what I just said. You just built wealth. Say you and you, say 3 of y'all make $200,000 a year. You just ended up with 3 disposable incomes.
Yeah, and under one household.
Under one household. Have as many babies as you want, but you can afford to pay for them.
Yeah.
Send them to the best schools in town. 3 disposable incomes. And if it's 4 y'all, it's 4 disposable incomes. And just say all 3 of the women decide they want to work, and you want to, and they want you to stay home because you the smart one. Sometimes you get a guy that he's patient, more patient, and more and able to do. You have that,
Mr. Mom.
Yeah, Mr. Mom type dude. You still have 3
right.
disposable. Everybody driving nice cars. Everybody living. Y'all live in a nice home. They don't want that.
You sounding right, Nate. I need to see.
Think about it though. I'm not telling you to. I just want you to think about what I'm saying. Come on now,
Cathy.
Don't be that way, Cathy.
Cathy, you ain't gonna live with some dude.
No.
Kathy, don't hate.
No.
Kathy.
I was just looking.
Let's flip it back. Can a woman?
No.
No.
Too many. Now you got too many Skittles in the bowl.
Wow.
So you can't be a woman and 4 dudes.
First of all, the numbers don't support that.
But
The numbers don't support that.
But if you're looking for betas, you need an alpha woman and 3 beta men.
That is. Nobody wants a beta man for shit.
They keep having them though, don't they?
Nobody wants a beta man for. A beta man is good for nothing.
He can get a job and work.
And yeah, what else?
Bring home. That's what you want. So if you got a woman and she got 3 dudes, she just got to take care of them. You like, nah, late night. Cathy, what do you think about that one?
No.
You know why?
No, Cathy didn't either.
You know what the problem is?
What's that?
Because men, I don't care, even if he's a beta, I ain't taking this no more. Women tend to be more understanding.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I don't know why either, because I wouldn't be understanding.
Well, you don't. It ain't for you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But I know of several families that operate like that.
Yeah,
now, mind you, they get along great.
Several families with a man and a couple different women.
And they get along great.
Where did you find these women? Like, how do you go to a woman and say, you know what?
First,
you're gonna be one of many.
First of all,
Come on.
First of all, ain't nobody lying to nobody.
Okay.
That's the first thing you got. Everybody's honest with everybody. Everybody's above board. First of all, ain't nobody playing no games about. No offense. If you go to Atlanta, average chick sharing a man. Average chick sharing a man anyway.
But she don't know it.
3.4 to 1.
But she don't know it.
And she don't know it.
Okay.
3.4 to 1.
But at least she know. He over Wanda House, girl.
Wow.
At least they know.
Okay.
But that's scary to think that that's the place that we are. But that in a lot of cases that is what's going on. But I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying they'll outlaw that, but they don't outlaw homosexual marriage.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm anticipating that now that the HRO has happened, and now that Obamacare now that the Supreme Court has struck down the definition of marriage, I'm thinking now next year or two it's going to be now. If you can tell two men to get married, how come three can't? How come two men and a woman can't? Hey, how come I can't love my dog? You can't tell me
that's
to love.
surprising. The Mormons haven't.
They already passed the law that you can marry your dog.
They're trying to make, because before it's been like for the last 10 years they've been trying to make animals have the same rights as humans. So if you kill a dog or you kill something, they want to call it murder.
I'm gonna tell you something right now. There's gonna be a whole bunch of Chinese folk being put out of here.
Wow.
Because I've seen the film.
I saw it too.
I've seen the film.
I've seen it too.
I got one on YouTube, but he had a dog rolling around like a pig on a stick. I said,
Yeah.
I'm talking about, boy, look at that thing. If you ain't know no better, I'm talking the way he had that thing slow roasted.
Wow.
Hey. But it's a cultural thing too now,
Yeah.
because they might look at us and say, like, you go to India, like, why would you eat a cow?
Why? Because ribeyes are good.
Hello.
But hey, some people like dogs.
Let me tell you something. I heard the red-haired dog tastes the best.
Now, if you go to Thailand, I bet you can get some dog over in Thailand.
I wouldn't know because I made sure I had to see him kill what I ate.
Oh, so that means you had to see him. That means you know it's out there, right?
I ain't seen no stray dogs nowhere.
There you go.
I do want to say that.
So you move to Thailand, they give you the money.
Oh.
Be prepared. You probably get some dogs. Lassie, Snoopy.
Stranger
Really?
thing. I didn't eat cow tongue, so I'm gonna let you know.
Yeah, I can't eat all that.
Yeah, I didn't.
Hey, dude, you know what they were eating at
too.
the Rumble in the Jungle, man? This is a story I heard from multiple. Bobby Goodman, Don, all those guys. They sat down. They said, they put the dish in front of them. They look at this thing. What was there? And they started eating it. Don's eating it, breaking it off. They said, what is this? It says cousin.
What's that?
What the fuck is cousin? So it's some kind of monkey. Some kind of
I'm good.
They were eating it. They ate it the whole week.
I'm vegetarian.
And the local guys referred to it as cousin. We're eating cousin. And Carl said, he threw up. He looked over. He saw Don. He reached in, grabbed.
Don would
like
do
three
anything
more
to make money.
Oh no.
Don would do. Y'all talk. If you ain't never met Don, oh baby, let me talk to you. Monkey go down good. Shit.
Oh no.
Make a nigga strong. Am I lying?
Now I'm gonna be a vegetarian. Y'all got some lettuce and some carrots.
No, as a matter of fact, I take some water. I take
boil it first.
You remember
that bottle be sealed.
Eyes be yelling them up.
Yeah, I'm good.
What's wrong with your eyes glowing in the dark like that?
I just ready to go home, brother. Just get me back across that ocean.
I'm telling you. But that's the problem. The thing is, we don't take into account that we've been. How can you ask your oppressor to educate you?
You can't. Malcolm X said it. You can't.
How? And then you guys got the education from the oppressor. I'm telling y'all right now. Mm-hmm. So you're gonna see things with a white slant
until
we educate ourselves.
And that's what we've done.
Right, I'm not saying you.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. But see, that's part of the problem when we talk about education, and I'm happy you got on that, is because when we're doing some research recently, we were looking at
listen to this.
African Americans and the literacy rate. So we're looking at fourth graders in the nation for African Americans. Only 18% of them are reading proficient in fourth grade. That means 82% of African Americans in the United States, when they are in fourth grade, are not reading on grade level.
So whose fault is that?
That's the parents' fault.
Parents' fault.
That's our fault. That's where we start. So in terms of looking to other people for our education, it's us. We need to be reading to our kids. We need to be taking our time.
We need more black teachers.
Yes.
You know, the problem is, somebody made us believe going to a big old school building was better than staying in a little old apartment
right.
and learn. And that's what a lot of those. I know a guy. I know a guy that has multiple partners. His kids are smart. They read. His daughter would be in 8th grade. Does calculus already.
That's beautiful.
He got 3 wives. One wife stays home, and she does all the housework and all that. Takes care of the kids, educates them, and the other 2 work, and he works. They work in the family business. Every one of the women have drive. The one that stays home drives a Mercedes, the 450, the big Mercedes truck, AMG, fast one. The other wife drives a Mercedes, drives the Porsche truck, the Cayenne.
Yeah.
Other one drives a Mercedes SL 550, and he drives an SL 550.
Dude, who cares about that? What's the sleeping arrangements? That's what I want to know. How does that shit go down?
I was thinking about it, go say it, but since you
listen, I know they're all driving Mercedes. So who's sleeping?
I'm just gonna say this. They have a very nice home. very nice home.
Get that brother on the mic.
No, listen, as the only woman in here, I'll take a Honda and one man things. Like, I don't want to share him with anybody else. Give me a Honda. I don't have to have a nice car. It's fine.
You know that is a European mindset.
It's what,
I'm just saying.
It is what it is, but I don't share.
We're having this conversation.
That's fine, but I don't share.
But people don't marry. People. We're the only race that still, quote unquote, when we're young, marry for
love.
Yeah, I was trying to.
Most original marriages were business arrangements. That's why I used to give your wife, the father used to give him a dowry. Hey, take this woman. We're gonna hook you up.
And that's why you marry to keep power, wealth, and those things in a family. And even if that meant you married multiple wives to keep that power structure the same, you did that. Now we don't marry for that. We marry because I love him. You ain't even like him next week.
Exactly.
You're not even. And I'm gonna tell you, like my mama told me. My mama told me. My mama say, I'm gonna tell you something. The bitch don't mean no good. This is when my mama talk. I'm like, how you know that, mama? Because I know. I wouldn't mean you no good neither.
Dang.
I'm like, well, why? I don't know. You're a man. And at this point, you just gonna be what you are, and you're gonna do something I don't like. And when you do something I don't like, I'm gonna make you pay for it, and that's what she gonna do.
Wow. Was she right?
If she was any writer, she'd be Madame Ruby.
Wow.
Going to break. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back and we're going to start talking about Syria and this Third World War thing.
You're watching Experience the Galaxy with Nate Campbell, the only show streaming live on Ustream, YouTube, Periscope, and Facebook Live.
Tell me, Kenny, how is it you rub my belly so fine with that secret rub of yours? And don't even tell me what you're gonna do next. I love you, Kenny Bear. Tell me, Kenny baby, what you gonna do next?
Kenny Bear's Old Florida Barbecue Rub and Seasoning. Grab a bottle today.
Hi, Billy C. here. I want to talk to you about Sal's Neighborhood Pizzeria and Ristorante Italiano. Sal's Neighborhood Pizzeria and Ristorante Italiano serves the freshest and finest homemade Italian cuisine with Sal's family recipes from the old country. Sal's incredibly delicious brick oven pizza is the best pizza I've ever had. And I'm from New York. Come join us today on St. Simon's Island in the beautiful Golden Isles of Georgia. We're located at exit 29 off of I-95. Sal's is open for lunch and dinner Monday through Saturday, with private parties available on Sundays. For more information, call 912-268-2328 or go to salsneighborhoodpizzeria.com. Sal's Neighborhood Pizzeria and Ristorante Italiano, where new faces become old friends, and our family tradition is to serve you the very best.
Want to bring the big show to your event? The Talkin' Boxing with Billy C. show will bring the biggest daily boxing show on the planet to your event and take your show from just an event to a big event.
Coming at you from Fort Lauderdale, we're at the inaugural Women's International Boxing Hall of Fame. And joining me right now, I don't want her to beat me up, but one of the most well-known fighters, retired undefeated, Lucia Riker.
With worldwide television distribution, a first-class professional TV set, and a totally HD state-of-the-art production, Billy C. gives huge promotion to your weigh-ins, press conferences, and even promotional events. The big man from the Big Apple knows the fight game, and his professional interviews are the best in the business.
It's now time for Talkin' Boxing with Billy C.
And we're coming to you live from the Billy C. studio in Lake George, New York. I'm Bill Calogero, and it's time for Talking Boxing with Billy C. Good morning, good day, good evening. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Linda from Southampton.
Hey, Linda from Southampton. What's on your mind?
VelDL TV and Billy C. Boxing get your event the big spotlight with thousands of viewers worldwide.
The best boxing commentators out there, Al Bernstein. Al, glad you could join us, my man.
Thank you very much.
What's happening?
Well, we're having a great weekend. Just had a beautiful lunch here at Graziano's. My second straight beautiful lunch here at Graziano's.
Email us today and ask us how, or go to BillyCBoxing.com and click on the Billy C. Now banner. Billy C. Boxing, the right choice to make your event into the big event.
You're watching Experience the Galaxy with Nate Campbell, the only show streaming live on Ustream, YouTube, Periscope, and Facebook Live.
What's going on? We're back. Fred and Cathy here still.
We ain't going nowhere. You sound a little disappointed. They still here.
They still here. Highly educated Negroes.
Try to be something, right? Leave it on front.
Fred was. I want to bring this before we go into our next topic. Fred was so smart. We used to be mad with him. Like, I hate him, man.
That was the front, brother.
He get good grades on purpose and shit. He don't pay nobody to help him do nothing. I hate him. Hey, Fred, how you doing?
Wow, really? Thanks, Nate. I heard that right there. I got the microphone and the earphones. Okay.
We're like so hating. No. Fred was that guy was like so laid back, real laid back and calm, and we all like Fred. I'm like, why wouldn't he go out for the team? I said, man, I don't know. Maybe his mama won't let him play.
I got tired of sitting on the bench.
Why, dude? I mean, you're really good.
Man, I was good, but evidently I wasn't good enough.
Fred was really good. I don't know. Let me tell you something. I was with Julius Minifield some years back. Julius, I don't remember you playing basketball. I said, I don't care. I said, you went to school and I don't remember you playing basketball. You went to college for it.
Wow.
I'm like, you was like, what? You peaked in high school.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was shit.
Go ahead, dude.
I had to tell him. You short. I said, I can stand on my wallet now.
Oh. And dunk, right?
I had just won the world title too. I was feeling myself. You couldn't tell me I wasn't 5'11".
You said 5'11". Wow, I thought you were gonna say like 6'11".
No, you couldn't tell me I wasn't 5'11".
Go ahead, then.
5'11". I was 5'11". I'd have made the pros.
Go ahead, then.
5'11". I would have made the pros. I was good like that, but wasn't my cup of tea. Somebody actually told me you might want to grow some more. I had to say you might want to kill yourself. I'm gonna grow some more. I actually did grow after I got out of school. I went from 5'4" to 5'7.5", 5'8".
Towering over.
I was the man. Wow. I stretched out a little bit. And messed around, and body got kind of mature like a grown man.
Got a grown man weight on you.
Yeah, 126 pounds.
126.
I turned pro as a 147 pounder, but I actually was a 126 pounder. I was physically real strong though, so I could get away with a lot of stuff. Yeah. I could punch, and that was able. My first 5 fights I fought between 126 and 147. And 128, but in that 26 class right now, I had all knockouts, and so they like, well, he can punch. He can do nothing else, he can punch. I was real swift, real fast, so I get a combination off real quick. And usually the fight was over if I landed 1 or 2 of the shots. So for me, that was
your gift.
Yeah, this is what I was called to do.
Yeah,
I tell people, you was called to preach, and I was called to punch somebody in the face. I'm real good at it, and I loved it.
Well, you can preach while they knocked out.
Yeah, and Father in Jesus' name, he bounced his head off the canvas. I don't know.
If you hit them hard enough before they make that crossover, you can go ahead and give them their last, give them the opportunity to accept Christ.
Singing the best hymn. You know the Lord will make a way somehow. Oh Lord.
You've been in the church house once or twice, huh?
Yeah. You know the Lord. You got that deacon that be singing the words to and say the word and say the word like me. Everybody know him.
Yeah.
Deacon Reynolds. No, but we gonna get into this next topic. This next topic, I think that you guys will really prepare for this one. I think.
Cathy, we've been grinding on it.
You've been grinding on it, Cathy?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Let's talk about this.
Wow.
Let's talk about this Syria bombing thing. What do you guys? You know my belief system. I'm gonna go ahead and throw mine out there. I don't believe that man bombed his own people. Okay. I don't believe he did it. And they're like, well, he did it before. Well, they also said that he gave black folk freedom in America, but we ain't seen it yet. So, who you gonna believe? You or me or your lying eyes? I mean, and the question is, they say he did, and what does it cost for them to make somebody say they saw a plane fly overhead. Dude, them people, third world country, they ain't got nothing over there. It's the easiest thing in the world to get them to say something for the right amount of money.
That's it. So okay, I understand that. So, but with that premise, then what? How do you believe whatever you believe?
I don't believe most of it.
So how do you come to how do you come to a conclusion to act on whatever, or do like in the case of Syria? Since I wasn't there, you weren't there, most of us weren't there. We're going to believe what, as you said, the media's going to send back to us. How do you make a decision? How can you tell if what Donald Trump did, or America did through Donald Trump, did was a good thing or a bad thing? Because if he's right, then it'd be a good thing, maybe. If he's wrong, then it's a bad thing. So how does Nate decide if we should bomb or not bomb Syria or any other place?
First of all, I don't trust the people that work for me most of the time.
Okay.
No offense. Some of the, you know what? You guys went to college. Poly means what? Poly.
Poly, many.
Multiple.
Ticks is derivative of
words.
Parasites.
Yeah.
Oh, text. Oh,
Ticks.
Oh,
Ticks is in politics.
Oh, yeah. Also, I said text.
Politics.
Okay.
Many parasites.
Okay.
You work with many parasites. You're a parasite.
Mm-hmm.
And you work with many other parasites. Mm-hmm. You know you're a liar because they helping you lie. You got liars writing your lying ass speeches. And you regurgitate them to us. So here's my question. You actually believe that man would bomb his own people? Okay. If you believe that, cool. But you're going to send 4 black boys over there primarily to fight this war. 4 white boys over there to fight this war. Because ain't nobody in his family going to war. But more people going out of our families over there to fight. Because we're going to war. And we're going to have to put boots on the ground at some point. We're already fighting one war that's been going on for 16 years at least. Then we got North Korea and Kim Jong-un.
Un.
Kim Jong-un.
No,
he added un on purpose.
Oh, okay. I'm like, we trying to credit. He know what he talking about. We don't know what he talking about. Go ahead.
Kim Jong-un.
Wow.
And that, look. First of all, we've been managed the demilitarized zone in Korea for what, 70 years now?
Something like that.
How much money we spent over there? We got bases underground over there. How many people can we feed? Let them people sort their own shit out. It's high time for us to stop being the world's police, and we only work for those that we can get something from.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, because they ain't worried about what's going on in Africa.
No. You do because they already got Africa. I'm gonna tell you a secret. They got them worshiping Jesus. In Ghana they building a big old statue. I think the second largest statue of Jesus to the one up in Rio.
But she's supposed to have engraven images.
Look here.
I'm just saying.
You better stop bothering them, folks.
I'm just saying.
Look, I'm gonna pray for you in the name of white Jesus.
Wow.
Please, white Jesus, forgive him for his sin, Lord, white Jesus. White Jesus.
Wow. Hey, I'm gonna stop because I lost my mind, Captain.
No, you telling the truth now.
I know.
I got you out here now. Come into my realm. Step on over to the bad side.
Go ahead. I've been talked about for a long time.
Yeah.
Kathy getting it too now. She joined the show.
Yeah, it's ugly, ain't it? But the thing about it is, they already got them.
Mm-hmm.
We've been to war in the name of God. That's why we go to war. We go to war in the name of God.
Mm-hmm.
That is an acronym. You do know that, right? Gold, oil, and drugs. Gold. When we went over there, we killed the guy, Libyan president
Gaddafi.
He took his gold. We went over there for oil in Kuwait, and drugs in Afghanistan. God, gold, oil, and drugs. Father God, in the name of your white son Jesus, we stand before you today.
Your white son Jesus, huh?
Counting these coins we finna make. Look how many white people committing ODing and dying from heroin, but you don't hear nothing about it on the news. Last year alone, they had, in a 3-day spell, they had 3 days of 20 people a day ODing on heroin. You didn't hear nothing about that. Because you ain't. It affect white people. But if it affect black people, black on black drug use is horrible. I'm telling you, these niggas is killing themselves. When you got media power, you got media power, baby.
But see, here's the kick. Again, I see what you're saying, but how are we still having this? That's what just really still baffles me.
But you missing this. They don't tell you that drug use is down among black people.
It should be 0.
Look, man.
Down is not good enough. 0.
We should all have. Look, you should be dark skinned, but you ain't.
See, dang it.
You should be dark skinned.
I'm waiting to bring light skinned brothers back.
Right.
I'm holding out.
Hey, I've been in this. Hey, listen, I'm just saying that's the way they say it should be, but it ain't. What it is what it is. Deal with what you're dealing with. You telling me that it should be so? My mother was a speedballer. She used heroin and cocaine mixed.
Oh, she ain't play around.
My father was an alcoholic, died from AIDS. There was no name for it when he died from it. My mother died in December. And I had to tell people this. Don't tell me what I should have been. And somebody, well, you made it out. I'm different. I had a father that made me make a vow that I was going to be better than him. Grabbed my arm and twisted one day in a hospital bed. He said, you promised me you'll be better than me. You owe it to me to be better than me. I said, Daddy, but I don't know what I'm going to be better at. He said, motherfucker. Everything. And that was the exact words she said to me. And people are like, oh. I'm like, but it made me want to be better. And nobody wants to hear me say that, but we don't tell our kids these things. You owe it to me to be better than me. You owe it to me to carry my family name forward. My family name was in the mud. Dude, to have the last name of Campbell was not a good omen. I got one uncle I only met. I met him first time I was 4, going on 5. Well, I just turned 5. Next time I met him, I was 16, 17.
Locked up.
People do not get it. Black men, when you destroy the black power vacuum, you left a vacuum in the black community. And here's how you did it. You don't have street gangs. I'm gonna tell you. You say, well, how did we get here? Let me help you understand why we got here. When they killed off the Black Panthers, young man Fred Hampton, that left groups of black men that were connected with no leadership. What did you end up with? Crips and Bloods. When you kill off people like Fred Hampton, and you kill off guys like Huey Newton, and you kill off all these Bobby Sears, you kill off these men, you leave us, you kill off Martin Luther King, you kill off all these great, you kill them all, or you imprison them. You killed even if you didn't physically kill them, you killed their legacy, their name, what they stood for. You left a power vacuum now, which was filled by beta males like Jesse Jackson, Al Sharptons. And now you got those beta males running this thing. But out there in the place where the black people needed them, on the streets, there was no one. So what do you get? You get what we have now. And there's no fixing this. There's no fixing this without bloodshed. You almost got to cut out 15, 20 million black folk that are no use to us.
So how you going to cut them out?
They cut them out anyway. You ain't got to worry about that. But as a people, we got to excise them. You got to put them all by themselves and let them be. The problem is we're afraid to let the dead bury the dead. You better get behind the gate and let them zombies kill each other off out there, or eat each other, whatever they gonna do. You better let them get out there and do. That's the problem.
I agree with that. I've said it before. We got to separate. We circle the wagons. We separate the ones that want to act right
and pick them off on the way in.
Hey, it's your life.
But you still got to teach the ones that do want to act right how to act right, because that's part of the problem.
But guess what?
Is there are people that want to act right that just don't know.
If your ass ain't with the circle of wagon, so be it. You and your little gay son stay on out there. Your little gay daughter. I told my daughter, I got 3 daughters. I told my daughter, let me tell you something. Don't you bring no 2 things. Don't you bring him. Just bring the white guy here, because he ain't gonna understand me. It's gonna make you feel bad, because I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say in my house. And if you bring a woman here, your feelings gonna get hurt. We ain't friends no more. You do that. Why, Daddy? I said, not that I hate anybody. I just understand that he can't understand me. Some white guy gonna be offended by this, and to save him getting his teeth knocked out, don't bring him here.
You gonna hit somebody.
Yeah, if you in my house, I'm gonna say what I want to say. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, white guy come in my house around my daughter. I know there's only one thing that this boy want to do with my daughter. If you come to my house, you want to screw my baby.
Oh no,
that's what you want to do. That's
Oh,
let's
God,
call it
that sounds so bad.
Yeah, let's call it what it is. You want to nail my?
Well, that's how she got here.
Well, but they ain't gonna do it. Have you ever noticed that if you look at black gays on TV, we ain't good enough for each other. We ain't good enough for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about Michael Sam's. Michael Sam's on TV kissing the white boy. I'm like,
that's a football player, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, when he got his contract.
Yeah. Yep. Kept kissing. I'm like, ugh. He looked like he was sick right then. I'm like, you gonna get a cough.
Ooh.
You gonna get a rash on your tongue behind that shirt, right? Look at him. Look at him. He look like he get. Look at him. Look at him.
You gotta do that one. Oh, you didn't have to do that one.
I didn't know it was coming up.
Yeah, thanks.
Sorry.
We were good.
Yeah, the green. Look at that.
That the boyfriend?
Yeah. Look at him.
Who's that?
I don't know.
Probably boyfriend in 5 years.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
Ain't like a poodle.
7 years.
Yeah.
Nate, boy, you were.
That was a good joke. I don't know. You can't take that joke to hell with you. That was a good one, damn you. That was a good one. And Lil Duval been talking about, man, you know you're not funny. I'm like, get me on the right subject. But when I say that, my thing is, we keep talking about all the things that's going on. Racism, classism, sexism. But you're missing this. Donald Trump came, and I told you this, Donald Trump came here to break the separation of state down. I said that some months back. And look what he's already done with this new HRO.
The HRO is for Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Right, but look what has already started to happen. It trickles down. Shit rolls downhill. And get on everything that it bumps into.
But you know what I found, though? Most people, when I talked to them about the HRO,
didn't know anything about it.
Even though we talked about it on the show, we encourage people to come out, but most people, of course, aren't listening to politics and history and things like that. If we put it on a fun show, we put on a reality show, then people pay attention. But then when you tell them what actually happened, then they're all offended. It's like, well, where were you when it was time to stand up?
They was waiting on Jesus to come.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, speaking of that, while we were sitting when we were going to all those HRO meetings, there were hardly any pastors there, and the ones that were there were not black. They were mainly white pastors.
And they were in
there.
support of it.
Yes. Well, not all of them. But there were a lot of them that were there.
Support of it.
But
there was
a
a black pastor in support of it last year.
Right. But, like, where were the pastors at? You know, they're going to, this is going to affect the churches.
What's the political process in Jacksonville for passing an ordinance like this? What has to happen?
There's two different ways.
No, go ahead.
There's two different ways. One, if just like anything else, somebody has an idea, submits it to the city council. Our city council is like the Congress.
Right.
And it has to go through the committees. The president of the city council sends it to whatever committee he or she wants it to go through. And once it goes to the committee, it comes to the floor. And when the floor votes on it, if it's good, it goes to the mayor. The mayor has 3 days.
Yeah.
3 days to sign it, or if he doesn't sign it, then it's automatically passed. Or he can veto it, and it goes back, and they have to do an override.
And the mayor actually did not veto this.
He did not sign it at all.
He did
so
not.
that it would just pass.
Yeah, he said he wasn't going to veto it because it was veto proof, meaning it had enough people on the side that they would override his veto, which
really was not true.
He didn't want to be looked at a certain way by his
exactly, but he ran on that he wasn't standing for it. But then when it came down to it, this is the third time now. This is the third time he tried. He caved in. He folded like a chair.
A cheap launcher.
Yes.
Yeah, like
and the other way for it to get passed, for an ordinance, is for it to go a referendum on the ballot. Now, and that's what people were asking for, was put it on the ballot. And if the people choose, that's fine. But don't let 13 people pick for the whole city. And that's basically what happened.
Tell us about Reginald Gaffney. Now he's a black.
I know Reginald.
Okay, he stood up and said that he would not allow this to vote. He would not allow this to go to referendum because just like during slavery,
the people
he couldn't trust the white people in the South to end slavery. He couldn't trust the black people or the city of Jacksonville to make such an important decision when it came to. So he likened the plight of the LGBT community in Jacksonville to the same thing as the plight of blacks during slavery. That's what he said.
Now when I step to him, I'm gonna step right to his face and say that bullshit you said.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
we'll send a link to it because you can look at the public record.
You can see it. It's public record.
I'm gonna say that bullshit you said about that that referendum, the HRO, whatever that.
Man, look it up. It's crazy.
Look it up. It's there. He said it.
This other lady came out and likened what they were doing
to the Holocaust.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
They got money. Where mine?
Okay, not just that, but when we putting gays in the ovens around here? Gays get there in all kind of positions.
They
got Gay Pride Day.
Exactly.
You tell me if you were putting in the Holocaust, you put them in ovens, and they have a Gay Pride Day? No. You got all this other stuff. It's not like that in this city. Jacksonville is not so anti-gay to where gays are walking around scared every day and get discriminated against everywhere they go.
Jacksonville's voted one of the best places for gays to move in Florida.
It was one of the best places for gays to move. Gays are moving here, getting jobs, especially in the education system.
And because they can teach your. And let me tell you something. Y'all problem is here. We refuse to get together and say, hell no. That's the problem. Too many black folk are afraid to be. First of all, I tell a gay person to their face, you're a boy, you get it. If you act like a boy, you get it. And that's the problem. We ain't willing to stand up. And I ain't saying to be rude or mean to nobody, but at the same time, you got a right to say what you will. I got a right to say what I will.
Yeah.
Your rights end where my rights begin.
Exactly.
And the problem is we don't act like it's like.
But this the backlash too, because in high school we know Melvin, he used to catch it.
I like Melvin. Melvin was cool.
But he used to catch it.
I've been knowing Melvin. I went to junior high with Melvin.
Yeah, but he used to get abused.
Yes, you better go ahead on. Stop bothering me.
Yeah, exactly. He used to get abused. Now that wasn't right. So now when it comes up now,
he got burned up in an apartment. Somebody firebombed an apartment.
He did.
He's been there for years.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah. And wow. I actually got into it with a guy about Melvin because I was taught I hate bullies, and Melvin was not a fighter.
Nope.
He would leave people alone. Yep. And Melvin was a good dude. He was into it. That's my problem. I'm the guy that will get into it. I got into it at Paxton about a gay guy named Greg Yancey. Somebody and this guy was a good dude. Greg used to set the pep rallies off. Started dancing, doing his sissy dance. Hey, Yancey was our sissy. And we would tell you, Yancey was, we called him, he was the Paxton Eagle sissy.
Wow. He responded to that.
He would kill that thing.
Okay.
And you couldn't bother him. He was protected because we needed him to set them pep rallies off.
But I'm saying is when we have the Melvins of the world that are now coming out and people saying, hey, we're not going to take this, I think that's what helps fuel the fire. Because you remember, if Melvin was alive today, he was our age. He would still have his faculties. He could still be, he could still be in young enough to fight. So when you go back and say, I was abused at this time, I used to have to run sometimes. People used to fight me sometimes just because of my choices. They didn't just leave me alone. They wanted to harm me.
Right.
So now we have this opportunity to set that straight or maybe get a little extra.
All you're doing is pushing. You're going to push people to fight against them.
But at the same time, if you've been fighting all your life and been getting beaten up all your life, what's new? Now you got an opportunity to get something as opposed to just getting your behind whipped. Now you got an opportunity to fight and get some reparations, if you will, in the sense of now I can sue you for if I feel you discriminated against me. Now I'm going to make you bake that cake for me because all these behind whippings I took as a child, all the times I felt abused, all the times I thought about suicide when nobody was there for me, now I got a group of people that's willing to stand for me.
I'll bake your cake. I bake your cake.
Everybody won't.
I bake the cake.
Everybody won't.
But then you go to the place that wants your money. That's like anything. If you don't want my money, why would I want to give? If you don't like me, I'm not giving you my money.
Why do
I'd rather go somewhere else and give somebody else my money.
I'm gonna give you something. Gays need to learn what blacks need to learn. If you don't like me, god damn it, I don't like you.
Exactly.
Keep my money. But that's it. Money. But think about it at the same time.
That's like a woman. I had a girl, and I'm gonna say this, just like this. There was a girl who would not give me no play at 15. She was 15, I was 15. She liked the big dope dealers.
You wanna say her name or no?
I won my first little title, and came home, and I was doing it, and I went out to my cousin, hang out in the hood, and went and she was there. Oh, you remember you was all in love with me? And I was offended that she would say that because you ain't gonna make everybody think you just dog me all out like
right.
that. You ain't gonna do that. You just came home from prison. You ain't finna do that. I said, yeah, I remember I used to have a big crush on you. I said, but I'm glad you didn't give me nothing. She told me, why would you say that? I said, well, I'm glad you didn't give me nothing.
Look at you now. Right?
No, because if I had took it, I had to admit I got something. I mean,
no.
I'm just saying.
I had to go get checked.
Yeah. My stomach might have broke out or something. I'm horrible like that. I'm petty. Petty, set, go.
Wow.
Petty Pendergrass, baby.
Petty Pendergrass.
I'm petty on another level.
But now flip it back to Melvin. Now you know a lot of those football players are hooking up with him on the low.
I heard.
Yeah.
And
see, that's the thing. People want to. Oh, you're so terrible, but meet me around the corner.
Yeah. Come on, Ryan. Let me feel on you, Melvin.
Uh huh.
Okay.
Uh huh.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
That's why I used to watch him. Like, boy, I know you be hanging out too much. Like, boy. Now I don't, like I said, I don't discriminate. That's not my thing.
Yeah.
But you ain't gonna force what you like.
Right.
Make me like what you like.
Yeah, because I can't force what I like on you. Because that was the case, we wouldn't have this conversation
At all.
So you do what you do. Just don't infringe on me.
Right.
I'm gonna do what I do, and I ain't gonna infringe on you.
If I would throw
And
a
we
brick
all
down the
grow up
street,
in-
if you try to make me like something you don't like.
See. There you go. Well, step out back, Nate.
Yeah.
Tell me, take my back.
Come on, let me talk to you outside. My favorite line. Come on, let me talk to you outside.
That's some nice music too, Nate. Where you get that from?
John stole it.
Wow.
You're watching Experience the Galaxy with Nate Campbell, the only show streaming live on Ustream, YouTube, Periscope, and Facebook Live.
Tell me, Kenny, how is it you rub my belly so fine with that secret rub of yours? And don't even tell me what you're gonna do next. I love you, Kenny Bear. Tell me, Kenny baby, what you gonna do next?
Kenny Bear's Home Florida Barbecue Rub and Seasoning. Grab a bottle today.
Hi.
All right, guys. Another show is in the can. I want to thank Fred and Cathy for coming over. I want you guys to tell them about y'all show before we go.
All right, we're Frederick Wilson and Cathy Taylor. Let's Talk Politics with Frederick Wilson and Cathy Taylor. We air every Monday night on Blog Talk Radio at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 to 8. You can reach us if you want to just listen to the show, 917-932-1078. Call in. If you want to participate, press the 1 button. Our engineer will get online and find out who you are, and we'll get information. We only have one rule, Cathy. What's that one rule?
No cursing.
And if you curse on our show, what we going to do?
We're going to hang up on you.
And talk about you like
a
what?
dog.
Like a dog, and you ain't going to be able to defend yourself. So,
right, because we hung up on you.
We hung up in your face. So we don't do that because we want to make sure our grandma can listen and bring her kids on and all that stuff. But basically what we do is we try to bring the history, we try to bring the facts together, and so people can have a better understanding. Like right now, we have people talking about filibustering. And we had the news say filibustering. But if you don't know what a filibuster is, you don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, if you should support it or be mad or whatever you're supposed to do. All you know is that this action is happening. So when we talk about it on our show, we'll break down what filibustering is. So now you know what's up. You know who's doing it. Now you can realize or decide if it's good or bad, right or wrong, or what you should do. So that's where we come in. And so that's our little niche. What you got on, Cathy?
That's good.
That's about it?
That's good.
And then we invite all. We're not, again, trying to convince you to be one thing or the other. We like everybody. Come on the show. Speak your truth. If we agree, we agree. If we don't, we don't. Sometimes we wrong and we'll be wrong. Sometimes we right, we'll be right. And sometimes we just have to agree to disagree.
Right.
And it's all good. But what we're looking for is just people that have a good heart. That
an open mind.
There you go. An open mind and really want to push the human condition forward. And we can always find some common ground with somebody that wants to do that. And that's what we want to work with. We ain't going to agree on everything. So that's just understood.
All right. Look, I'm a cuss.
Go ahead. Go ahead. This the Nate show.
Yeah, Nate show.
When I come on your show, I'm a censor myself. But
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because we got grandma listening.
Yeah. Grandma need to hear this. Grandma, you lied to us.
Wow.
You lied to us, Grandma. You lied to us, and pork is not good for you, Grandma.
Grandma thought it was.
Yeah.
She ain't lied. She was just wrong.
Yeah.
She was just wrong.
She lied.
She was wrong.
But thank y'all for coming out. We're going to see y'all next Saturday night at 7 p.m.
Saturday night?
Saturday night. Tonight is a special show because I had a tournament. And so when I do a tournament, I try to come in and do a Sunday show. And I want you guys to tune in. Hit us up. Hit me up at Nate at experiencethegalaxy.com. Galaxy has 2 X's. Hit me up with your questions and your show ideas, and let me know what you want to do. This Nate Campbell speaking for John on the boards. Thank y'all for coming. Peace.